wise woman understands that not everyone deserves access to her life. She silently removes those who drain her peace, hinder her growth, or disrupt her purpose. She knows that life is too short to entertain relationships that bring more harm than good. She is discerning about who she allows into her space, recognizing that not all connections are meant to last forever. Some people come as lessons, others as distractions, and a few as genuine allies on her journey. But wisdom teaches her that holding on to the wrong people only delays her progress and robs her of the energy she needs to fulfill her purpose. She does not make grand announcements when she decides to walk away. She does not seek validation for her choices. She simply moves in silence, trusting that her intuition and discernment will guide her to the right people, places, and opportunities. She understands that peace is priceless, and anything or anyone that threatens it must be handled with wisdom. She does not engage in unnecessary arguments or try to change people who have no desire to change. She has learned that trying to fix people who do not want to be fixed is an exercise in futility, and instead she chooses to protect her own energy. There are people who will drain her emotionally, always demanding but never giving. There are those who will drain her mentally, filling her mind with negativity, doubt, and fear. There are some who will drain her spiritually, distracting her from her faith and her divine purpose. And there are those who will drain her physically, constantly requiring her presence and effort without reciprocation. A wise woman is aware of these dynamics, and she makes no excuses for eliminating toxic influences from her life. She does not cling to relationships out of nostalgia or fear of loneliness. She understands that true fulfillment does not come from surrounding herself with people. She has experienced the consequences of ignoring the warning signs. She has tolerated people longer than she should have in the past. She has tried to see the best in those who only brought her pain. But through experience, she has learned that some people only stay in her life because she continues to allow them. The moment she reclaims her power and sets boundaries, they reveal their true nature. Some will resist, some will lash out, and some will try to manipulate her into staying, but she remains firm, knowing that her well-being is not up for negotiation. A wise woman values her growth above temporary companionship. She does not allow anyone to stagnate her progress. If a person does not support her vision, encourage her goals, or contribute positively to her journey, she does not hesitate to let them go. She does not entertain jealousy, competition, or hidden resentment. She recognizes that some people only want to be around her when she is struggling, but when she begins to elevate, they become uncomfortable. They do not celebrate her wins. Instead, they secretly wish for her downfall. She identifies these individuals early and distances herself without explanation. She also understands that some people may not be toxic, but they are simply not aligned with her journey. Not everyone who walks with her in one season is meant to walk with her in the next. She discerns when it is time to release people, even those she once loved deeply. She knows that growth requires separation, and she does not fear walking alone if it means maintaining her peace and purpose. Silence is her greatest tool. She does not argue with those who misunderstand her choices. She does not justify her decisions to those who were never invested in her well-being. She does not announce her exits. She simply moves forward with grace and confidence. She allows her actions to speak louder than her words. When she removes herself from toxic situations, she does not seek revenge or validation. She simply disappears and focuses on her elevation. Her peace is her priority. She values the tranquility of her mind and heart above superficial connections. She understands that the people she surrounds herself with influence her thoughts, emotions, and actions. She chooses to be around those who inspire, uplift, and challenge her to become better. She is intentional about creating an environment that nurtures her growth and success. She also recognizes that letting go does not always mean cutting people off completely. Sometimes it means adjusting the level of access they have to her life. Not everyone deserves to know her plans, dreams, or struggles. She shares selectively, knowing that not everyone who listens to her wants the best for her. Some people only gather information to use against her. Others pretend to be supportive, but secretly compete with her. A wise woman does not fall into this trap. She moves with discernment, keeping certain aspects of her life private and only sharing with those who have proven their loyalty and integrity. She has learned to trust actions more than words. She no longer gets swayed by empty promises or flattering speech. She observes how people treat her, how they react to her success, and how they behave when she is in need. If someone's presence in her life brings more stress than support, more confusion than clarity, or more harm than healing, she does not hesitate to remove them. She knows that protecting her peace is an act of self-respect. A wise woman also understands that cutting people off is not about hate, it is about health. She does not hold on to resentment or bitterness. When she lets go, she does so with love and forgiveness. She releases people from her life without wishing them harm. She understands that everyone is on their own journey, and just because someone is not good for her does not mean they are entirely bad. They simply do not align with where she is going, and that is okay. She chooses to focus on herself, her purpose, and her growth. She invests her time and energy into relationships that bring her joy, peace, and fulfillment. She surrounds herself with those who celebrate her, uplift her, and challenge her to become the best version of herself. She understands that quality is always better than quantity when it comes to relationships. She does not seek validation from crowds. She finds fulfillment in meaningful connections. Her confidence grows as she removes the weight of toxic relationships. She begins to experience a new level of freedom and clarity. She no longer second-guesses herself based on the opinions of those who never truly supported her. She walks boldly in her purpose, unafraid of who may leave or who may misunderstand her choices. She knows that those who are meant to be in her life will respect her boundaries, honor her journey, and contribute positively to her growth. A wise woman does not waste time explaining herself to those who refuse to understand. She does not entertain guilt trips or emotional manipulation. She trusts that God will align her with the right people at the right time. She focuses on becoming the best version of herself, knowing that the right relationships will naturally align with her growth. She is at peace with her decisions. She no longer seeks closure from those who hurt her. She no longer needs approval from those who do not see her worth. She moves with confidence, knowing that her life is too valuable to be weighed down by relationships that do not serve her highest good. She embraces the power of silence, the strength of discernment, and the wisdom of letting go. And as she continues to elevate, she realizes that the fewer distractions she has, the clearer her path becomes. She no longer entertains unnecessary drama or invests energy into relationships that drain her. She understands that peace, purpose, and progress require intentional choices. And so she moves forward with grace, wisdom, and an unshakable commitment to protecting her peace. A wise woman does not chase, she does not beg, she does not force connections. She simply allows people to show their true nature, and when necessary, she silently walks away, knowing that in doing so, she is choosing herself, her peace, and her divine purpose. There are 5 types of people who must be cut off: those who bring toxicity, dishonesty, stagnation, manipulation, and disrespect. Eliminating these influences allows a woman to walk in strength, wisdom, and divine alignment. A wise woman understands that the company she keeps shapes the quality of her life, influences her mindset, and affects her ability to fulfill her purpose. She knows that not everyone deserves access to her, and some relationships must be severed for her to grow into the woman she is meant to be. She is not afraid to walk away from those who drain her spirit, confuse her mind, or pollute her peace. Toxic people are the first to go. These are the individuals who bring negativity into every conversation, who thrive on drama, and who cannot stand to see others succeed. They're the ones who always have something to complain about, but never take action to change their circumstances. They plant seeds of doubt, discouragement, and fear, making it difficult for a woman to maintain a positive and focused mindset. A wise woman does not allow toxic energy to linger in her life. She recognizes the signs early and removes herself from environments and relationships that threaten her emotional and mental well-being. Dishonest people must also be cut off. A woman who desires to walk in wisdom knows that she cannot build anything meaningful with those who lack integrity. Whether it is a friend, a family member, or a romantic partner, dishonesty erodes trust and creates a foundation of instability. When a woman surrounds herself with liars, manipulators, and deceivers, she is constantly second-guessing, wondering what is true and what is false. This kind of emotional turmoil is exhausting, and a wise woman refuses to subject herself to it. She values truth, transparency, and trust, and she only keeps company with those who uphold the same standards. Stagnant individuals are another group that must be released. These are the people who refuse to grow, who resist change, and who are content with mediocrity. They do not challenge themselves, and they do not encourage others to rise higher. Instead, they remain stuck in the same patterns, expecting life to change without putting in the effort. A woman with vision and ambition cannot afford to be weighed down by those who lack drive and determination. She needs people around her who inspire her, push her, and motivate her to become better. If she continues to entertain relationships with those who are unwilling to grow, she risks limiting her own potential. Manipulative people are dangerous, and a wise woman does not tolerate them in her life. These individuals use guilt, emotional tactics, and deception to control others. They do not respect boundaries, and they take advantage of kindness for their own gain. Manipulation can be subtle, appearing as concern or affection, but over time it becomes clear that their intentions are self-serving. A woman who values her peace and self-worth knows that anyone who tries to control, deceive, or use her must be cut off. She does not allow herself to be a pawn in someone else's game. She stands firm in her decisions, refusing to be swayed by guilt-tripping, gaslighting, or emotional blackmail. Finally, a woman must cut off those who do not respect her. Disrespect can take many forms. It can be someone who constantly talks down to her, disregards her feelings, or belittles her dreams. It can be someone who takes her kindness for granted or fails to appreciate her presence. A woman who knows her worth does not tolerate disrespect in any form. She does not waste time explaining her value to those who refuse to see it. Instead, she silently removes herself from situations where she is not honored, appreciated, or valued. She understands that the way people treat her is a reflection of how they see her, and she does not settle for anything less than respect. A wise woman does not make a spectacle when she decides to cut people off. She does not engage in unnecessary arguments, nor does she seek revenge. She simply withdraws, allowing her absence to speak louder than words. She moves with quiet confidence, knowing that her well-being is her responsibility. She does not wait for people to change. She changes her surroundings. She does not beg for loyalty. She aligns herself with those who naturally respect and value her. She also understands that letting go is not always easy. There may be emotional attachments, history, and deep connections that make it difficult to walk away. But she knows that her future is too important to be jeopardized by the wrong associations. She reminds herself that her peace is priceless, her purpose is sacred, and her time is valuable. She does not allow emotions to cloud her judgment. She chooses herself, her happiness, and her growth over any relationship that diminishes her. With every toxic relationship she releases, she feels lighter. Her mind becomes clearer, her energy increases, and her confidence grows. She no longer feels drained by the weight of unnecessary drama or constant negativity. She begins to see new opportunities, meet new people, and attract relationships that align with her vision. She realizes that she was never meant to carry burdens that were not hers to bear. She embraces her freedom and steps boldly into the life she was designed to live. Letting go does not mean she holds grudges. A wise woman understands that forgiveness is essential for her own peace. She releases resentment, not for the sake of those who wronged her, but for her own emotional and spiritual well-being. She does not allow bitterness to take root in her heart. Instead, she chooses to heal, to move forward, and to focus on the blessings ahead. She also learns the power of setting boundaries. Cutting people off is not just about walking away. It is about creating a new standard for her life. She becomes intentional about who she allows into her space. She guards her time, energy, and emotions with wisdom. She does not entertain gossip, tolerate negativity, or invest in relationships that do not reciprocate effort. She holds herself accountable to the boundaries she sets, knowing that consistency is key to maintaining her peace. As she moves forward, she attracts better relationships. She connects with people who uplift, inspire, and support her journey. She experiences the joy of being surrounded by those who truly care for her, who encourage her dreams, and who celebrate her growth. She no longer settles for less than she deserves. She understands that true relationships are based on mutual respect, trust, and authenticity. She stands firm in her decision to remove toxicity, dishonesty, stagnation, manipulation, and disrespect from her life. She knows that every step she takes toward a healthier, more fulfilling life is a step toward her divine purpose. She embraces her worth, honors her value, and refuses to compromise on her peace. She walks with confidence, knowing that she is in control of her environment and her destiny. And so she continues forward, unshaken, unbothered, and unstoppable. She moves with grace and wisdom, trusting that every relationship she lets go of is making room for something greater. She no longer clings to what is familiar just because it is comfortable. Instead, she steps boldly into the unknown, believing that her best days are still ahead. She is at peace with her choices. She is no longer afraid to let go. She trusts that by removing what no longer serves her, she is making space for what truly aligns with her soul. She is walking in wisdom, in strength, and in divine alignment, fully aware that cutting off the wrong people is not a loss, but a powerful step toward the life she was meant to live. True wisdom is not in announcing separation, but in moving forward with clarity and discernment, ensuring that only those who honor, respect, and uplift her remain in her circle. A woman who walks in wisdom understands that every relationship in her life should contribute to her growth, not hinder it. She recognizes that not everyone is meant to stay, and she does not hold on to relationships that drain her spirit, disrupt her peace, or compromise her purpose. Instead of making grand declarations about who she is cutting off, she simply shifts her focus, realigns her energy, and moves forward in silence, allowing her actions to set the standard for the kind of relationships she allows in her life. She does not engage in unnecessary explanations, nor does she waste her time trying to convince others of her worth. She understands that those who truly respect and value her will recognize her boundaries without needing to be told. She does not chase after people, beg for appreciation, or demand loyalty. Instead, she positions herself in a way that naturally filters out those who do not align with her values. Her silence is not passive. It is a deliberate and powerful choice. It is a sign of emotional maturity, self-respect, and unshakable confidence in her own worth. She moves with grace, never acting out of bitterness or resentment. She does not seek revenge, nor does she attempt to prove a point. She knows that true power is found in self-control, in the ability to walk away without causing unnecessary conflict or destruction. She does not burn bridges in anger. She simply stops crossing them. She does not close doors loudly. She just stops opening them. Her wisdom is evident in her ability to detach with dignity, ensuring that she leaves every situation without allowing negativity to consume her. A wise woman understands that not all separations are meant to be confrontational. Some goodbyes do not require explanations, long conversations, or drawn-out justifications. Some relationships fade because they have served their purpose, and she is mature enough to recognize when it is time to move on. She does not force connections that have expired, nor does she attempt to revive relationships that no longer contribute to her well-being. She trusts the natural flow of life, allowing what no longer serves her to exit gracefully. She is not afraid of solitude because she knows that true peace is better than forced connections. She would rather walk alone in alignment with her purpose than be surrounded by people who only bring confusion, insecurity, or emotional exhaustion. She does not measure her worth by the number of people in her life, but by the quality of the relationships she nurtures. She seeks depth, not quantity. She values sincerity over popularity. She knows that having a small circle of loyal, supportive, and uplifting individuals is far more valuable than being surrounded by many who do not genuinely care for her. Her discernment allows her to identify who truly belongs in her life. She does not make decisions based on temporary emotions or fleeting circumstances. She observes, she reflects, and she listens to her intuition. She pays attention to patterns, not just words. She recognizes when someone consistently disrespects her boundaries, takes her kindness for granted, or fails to reciprocate the energy she invests. She does not react impulsively, but she also does not ignore what she knows to be true. When she realizes that someone does not honor, respect, or uplift her, she silently adjusts their place in her life without creating unnecessary drama. She also understands that not everyone will understand her choices, and she is at peace with that. She does not seek validation from those who do not see her vision, nor does she expect approval from people who are not meant to walk her journey with her. She accepts that growth sometimes means outgrowing certain relationships, and she does not shrink herself to fit into places she has outgrown. She refuses to lower her standards to accommodate those who are unwilling to rise. She knows that the right people will recognize her value, appreciate her presence, and respect her boundaries without resistance. Her ability to walk away in silence is not a sign of weakness, but of strength. It takes courage to choose peace over unnecessary conflict. It takes wisdom to prioritize self-respect over the need to be understood by those who do not have the capacity to see her worth. She does not waste energy explaining herself to those who are committed to misunderstanding her. She does not dwell on what could have been or what should have happened. Instead, she focuses on what is, what aligns with her spirit, and what serves her highest good. She recognizes that every ending is a new beginning. When she lets go of relationships that no longer serve her, she creates space for new opportunities, deeper connections, and greater blessings. She does not fear loss because she knows that what is meant for her will always find its way to her. She trusts that by removing what no longer aligns with her, she is making room for something greater. She walks forward with faith, knowing that her future holds more than what she is leaving behind. She also understands the importance of maintaining a heart free from resentment. She does not hold grudges, nor does she allow past disappointments to make her bitter. She forgives, not because others always deserve it, but because she deserves peace. She releases anger, resentment, and frustration, choosing instead to focus on her own healing and growth. She knows that holding on to negativity only weighs her down, and she refuses to allow anything to hinder her progress. She embraces the power of emotional intelligence. She does not react to every offense, nor does she allow others to control her emotions. She chooses her battles wisely, understanding that some things are not worth her energy. She practices patience, restraint, and wisdom in how she handles difficult situations. She knows that true strength is not found in loud reactions, but in the quiet confidence of knowing her worth and acting accordingly. She also understands that moving forward does not mean shutting herself off from love, connection, or community. She remains open to genuine relationships, but she does so with discernment. She does not allow past disappointments to make her guarded or close-hearted. Instead, she becomes wiser, learning from every experience, refining her standards, and ensuring that only those who truly align with her values have access to her heart and energy. As she continues her journey, she surrounds herself with people who inspire, uplift, and encourage her. She chooses relationships that are built on mutual respect, trust, and authenticity. She values deep conversations, meaningful connections, and reciprocal love. She understands that the people she surrounds herself with have a direct impact on her mindset, her emotions, and her overall well-being. Therefore, she is intentional about who she allows into her space. She walks in confidence, knowing that she is in control of her life. She does not allow external influences to dictate her decisions. She remains true to herself, staying firm in her values and unwavering in her commitment to her own growth. She trusts herself, listens to her intuition, and follows the path that aligns with her divine purpose. She no longer seeks approval, validation, or permission. She simply moves forward, fully assured that she is on the right path. She understands that wisdom is not just about what she knows, but about how she applies it. She lives with intentionality, making choices that align with her highest self. She no longer entertains relationships out of obligation, fear, or comfort. She chooses connections that bring her peace, joy, and fulfillment. She honors her own boundaries and respects her own worth. And so she continues to walk her path with grace, wisdom, and strength. She is no longer weighed down by relationships that deplete her. She no longer feels the need to explain her decisions to those who do not understand them. She moves forward, fully aligned with her purpose, confident in her worth,